Good to have you join us on the program Biotechnology in Focus. I am Evanega. Now, if you're ready, let's get started on our voyage. Do stay with us. It's now time to visit the National Biotechnology Development Agency, NABDA. It is often said that action speaks louder than words. Now let's see the words transform into action.
Biotechnology is the future. It's a very good initiative, a very good drive, and should be encouraged in every way. I know it's going to aid food security and so many other diverse aspects, and it should be looked into. Much more research should be carried out in the regards where we are talking about regarding biotechnology. So I think it should be encouraged, it should be financed better, and it's the future to wipe out hunger and lack in the land. I know there's a lot of negative publicity that has been carried out, and that is even ongoing as we speak, but I would like to say that more people should try to be enlightened. They should read more, they should acquire much more knowledge regarding this. It is not negative at all. I think it should be encouraged. It should be enhanced. You know, people should promote biotechnology. Like I have said earlier on, it is the future in every aspect. So it should be encouraged.
Biotechnology is the use of biological systems and processes and cells and tissues and related things like that to make or modify processes, biological processes, for the use of man. Biotechnology can make the desired impact in Nigeria through research and development in biotechnology, and through adopting and domesticating products of biotechnology from the advanced countries of the world for the benefit of Nigerians. The country has made a significant impact because Nigeria has been taking the necessary steps towards ensuring that the country benefits from the products of biotechnology. The country has established the National Biotechnology Development Agency in the Federal Ministry of Science and Technology to promote the use of biotechnology for the benefit of Nigerians. And our universities and research institutes are also carrying out programs and projects in biotechnology.
Biotechnology is an aspect of technology that affects almost everything about humanity. Biotechnology aids in production of foods, it aids in the medical aspect, it aids in the environmental aspect, because we have like all this Ogoni land that they are talking about. We can employ biotechnology in such places, and they will be very, very effective with minimal cost involved. So biotechnology is very, 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 very vital that we domesticate it in this country, so that so many things will cost efficiency and effectiveness in the application of it. National Biotechnology Development Agency has done a lot. We have seen biotechnology worked in the aspects of improved seeds for farmers. I have seen biotechnology worked in the aspect of fertilizer. We encourage organic fertilizer instead of the inorganic fertilizer. Biotechnology has the agency in the medical aspect. It has done so much, because when you're talking of HIV vaccine, when you're talking of the sickle cell, we worked on the sickle cell vaccine, and so many other things that are involved in our medical department that are very, very important for humanity. For now, it is being encouraged that some of these tests that are very vital to improve health of the citizens of this country are being domesticated in our department here. And by the grace of God, I know very soon they will start offering free tests and other things for citizens in the country.
Generally speaking, biotechnology, let's just define biotechnology. Biotechnology simply means genetically modified food, produce, plants, or animals. You understand? And with the way the world is going today, it's just that we in Africa here with research were laid back, and more needs to be done on research, most especially in the field of biotechnology, because biotechnology is regarded as forecasting towards the future. You understand? Let's just say in a nutshell, biotechnology is also the future. You understand? Because majority of countries, developed countries, are beginning to diversify. Even when we talk about energy, we talk about alternative energy, we talk about massive production of food produce, you understand? In order to curb, poverty, you understand? In order to curb hunger, because the way population is growing, population grows day by day, and we need to step up our strategies, in encouraging and promoting biotechnology, most especially in Africa. You understand? Because we are the countries that are mostly affected by these factors of poverty, diseases, and etc. So on and so forth. You understand? So I think people should rally around. People should stop talking negatively about technology. There is no harm about technology. The European worlds are doing fine, and they've gone fast in biotechnology. And as we speak now, we don't hear much negative, reviews, negative results according to the research they've carried out, according to the end result of biotechnology that is being consumed, that is being utilized, that is being practiced, and all that. So I think biotechnology is the way forward, and it should be encouraged in our society in Africa today.
Next is our feature segment, and let us take a look at the Food Revolution series. We'll be right back.
When it comes to complex issues that affect food and farming, everyone struggles to make the right decisions. For some, their decisions come from a scientific assessment of risks and benefits.
I wanted to be an organic farmer because, number one, the produce is much more profitable, and number two, it's much more sustainable.
I'm proud to be an organic farmer. Instead of using chemical pesticides, organic agriculture uses integrated controls.
Organic farming was developed around the world for many reasons: to curb the use of synthetic chemicals, help soil fertility, and ideally improve the overall sustainability of our food production.
Although organic agriculture is a good model, there are aspects that prevent it from becoming the sustainable agriculture. The challenging part for organic is to provide food on a very large scale. It's very difficult to do.
Organic farming has taught all of us about so much over recent decades. But if this is an organic planet we're going towards, you would see all the rainforest destroyed. You'd have to double or even triple the amount of land area which is being cultivated just to feed the current population, let alone a population of 9.5 billion. So it would be an ecological disaster.
And so we need to use every kind of technology and strategy related to agriculture that we can. And genetically engineered crops have achieved some of those goals. So the papaya ring spot virus in Hawaii, organic practices just weren't going to control that. Whether it's small farmers in Africa or it's large farmers in the US, we need strategies to solve both their problems.
We do everything similar to what farmer does. No fertilizer, no pesticide, no insecticide. See, the control plant has the disease and the control plant completely wilted, but our transgenic lines has no disease. So actually all our genetically modified plants all has the 100% resistance.
It was quite amazing to see Lina's GMO plants that were resistant to the banana bacterial disease.
Feel free to touch, and even the fruits if you can touch them.
I got to know that actually GMOs are not bad like they used to say.
Emma, do you think this crop integrate well the system you have been practicing?
Even better. So it does well. I wouldn't mind growing a GM crop in my garden.
To me, I would think the transgenic is ready. What makes it not ready?
Yeah, it's the biosafety law, which is not in place. So I don't know why they don't consider. Maybe we have to change their perception for that, you know. The government has to be forced to put the law in place.
Yeah. When I saw Francis's face, she also could not believe that there was an answer to her problem. And she was like, can you give us these plants yesterday? Bibika. But it was so sad. She could not get the GMO plants that she had to wait for another 2, 3, 4 years for the research to be approved. This is as close to being a scientist as I'll ever get.
All of you have put so much time, effort, your life's work, basically, is this plant that people are having these big debates about. How frustrating is that for you?
What I see is how far we have come, you know. Means like we have now a solution for the farmers. So, you know, that good enough to motivate me to do something more, to convince the people who have negative about this technology, give them the scientific facts. And I feel like we can convince them.
I am not convinced that you can convince them. One of the things that has been most difficult for me is understanding how human beings make decisions. We don't make decisions based on facts. We make decisions based on our gut. And there's, you know, it's some combination of intuition and emotion and affiliation. I need to ask you, when was the last time you changed your mind? Think about it. in the last year? Have you changed your mind about an issue of substance?
They haven't done anything for Africa. The lame shall not walk, the blind shall not see, the hungry shall not be fed.
Technology doesn't have a moral valence. You know, it's how the technology is used. You know, is the hammer used to pound in nails and build a house for the poor, or is it used to bash in the head of your neighbor?
Now struggling with even the conventional system of producing food. Climate change is a reality. You know, I'm awaiting another GM seed for drought tolerance. Yeah, I'm waiting really impatiently because we are losing here.
This has been about 10 days of drought and then a month of recovery. Our engineered lines recovered, as you can see, much better, while the background control line, they did not recover, they died. Or M202.
Wow. They're incredible. If we can reproduce this in the field, it can have a huge, huge effect for farmers.
Genetic engineered rice, been stopped. No commercialization. It's gone. Then we stopped genetic engineered alfalfa. We sued them, and we beat them. Those are gone. Not gonna happen. Not gonna happen.
Americans, beware. Please be informed that whenever you say no to GM technology, you are suppressing Africa. South Africa and the rest of the continent is being left behind.
It is now time for us to take a break on the program Biotechnology in Focus. We'll come back after the break.
Did you know that genetically modified organisms, GMOs, are safe and do not pose any risk, hazard, or danger to human, animal, and the environment? Neither do they cause cancer, infertility, sterility, tumor, or any adversity. There is safe use of GMO drugs like insulin, vaccine, rapid diagnostic test kits for malaria, HIV, hepatitis, and so on. The safety of GMOs is certified by the World Health Organization, WHO, Food and Agricultural Organization, FAO, European Food Safety Authority, EFSA, the National Academies of Science globally, the Royal Society, UK, and over 110 prize Nobel laureates. GMOs are safe, effective, and certified by MBMA in Nigeria.
This message is brought to you by the Nigeria chapter of the Open Forum on Agricultural Biotechnology, OFAB, supported by the National Biotechnology Development Agency, NABDA.
Up next is our Guest of the Week segment. Our guest is Dr. Sarah Davidson Evanega. She is of the Alliance for Science, New York, USA.
Biotechnology describes a suite of approaches that we have both in plant science and animal science and medical science in order to essentially advance those fields of study. So there's a number of different tools within that suite of biotechnology. We have tools in plant science, such as tissue culture, that help us regenerate whole plants from just small amounts of tissues or small amounts of cells. And then we have other tools like recombinant DNA technology that allows us to essentially manipulate the plant genome and make insertions or deletions in that genome. But biotechnology is really a much larger category of tools that we have in science. Well, I mean, again, these are the tools of science, and the scientists in Nigeria are using the tools of today to advance science in Nigeria. It's so exciting to see scientists who are working in cassava, in cowpea, and so many other important crops that are important to Nigeria. So they're using the tools of today to advance those crops, to ensure that we have more climate resilient, more pest resistant crops for Nigerian farmers. Sure. So in the U.S., we've been growing biotech crops for over 20 years, and all of the major scientific bodies agree that the science is clear. These crops are safe for the environment and they're safe for human and animal consumption. And so we really don't have any scientific concerns around GM crops. And in fact, consumers have been eating and consuming and benefiting from GM crops for over 20 years. Now, I would say that one comment that I'll make is that the majority of people aren't really concerned about GMOs. There's a small minority and very vocal group that is raising a lot of fears about GMOs. But if you go and ask someone at the grocery store on any given day, what are you really concerned about? People are concerned about how to make ends meet, how to pay their bills, the safety of their kids. GMOs is not an issue that's at front of mind for most people. That said, there has been a lot of fear-mongering, and a lot of groups have essentially made their living or made their way by instilling fear in the public in the U.S. as well as in other countries around the world. But the reality is that these crops bring about major benefits for farmers. So we see dramatic reductions in insecticide use, for example, when BT crops are implemented. We see the ability to implement conservation agriculture, and we see entire industries being saved by biotechnology, like the Hawaiian papaya industry in the 1990s that was devastated from a virus epidemic. BIOTECH papaya came in and really saved the day for those Hawaiian farmers. So farmers are really seeing the benefits of this technology. Now, in the U.S., less than 2% of the population farms. And so what that means is most people are pretty detached from agriculture. And so maybe the average consumer isn't directly benefiting from biotech crops. Indirectly, certainly they are, but maybe not directly. Now, in countries like Nigeria, I think the population of people engaged in agriculture may be higher than that, and certainly it varies across the African continent to what degree people are engaged in agriculture. And so when people directly feel a benefit of biotech crops and they see their utility because they are directly benefiting from it, they are rapidly adopting these technologies. Farmers that have access to these innovations rapidly adopt them because they see their utility. So what we need is to continue to innovate and develop technologies that really benefit consumers and provide some utility. You'll note that in the medical arena, for example, we don't have this controversy around medical biotechnology. Why is that? It's because people have a very intimate and immediate sense of utility. Everyone knows a diabetic. Everyone is grateful for that recombinant insulin that's produced by biotechnology, that genetically engineered insulin that their friend or their family member can take to mitigate the effects of diabetes, right? So that's an immediate utility. And when we have utility, we no longer clamor on about whether something is good or bad because we benefit from it. We experience the utility very intimately. Right. So the Open Forum for Agricultural Biotechnology is a great partner of the Alliance for Science. We share a mission of ensuring access to these innovations, biotechnology innovations, as a means of improving global food security, promoting environmental sustainability, and really raising the quality of life globally. And so we share this mission, and we believe that through dialogue, through transparency, and through increasing public understanding of science, people will really be able to make better choices about whether or not they want to support this technology. So transparency, communication, core components that we share with Open Forum for Agricultural Biotechnology in Africa. I have a friend who likes to make the point, let Africa speak for herself. African scientists are doing a remarkable job of developing crops and innovations that are going to benefit African farmers and African consumers. And so, you know, if I were in government in Nigeria, I would say, let's do what's right for Nigeria. Let's not listen to those people in the US, like me. Let's not listen to those people in Europe. Let's do what makes sense for Nigeria so that Nigeria can advance, because Africa is rising. The Alliance for Science is a global communications initiative really aimed to promote access to scientific innovations. We believe in access and choice. We believe that farmers, for example, should be able to make their own choices about whether or not they want to grow biotech crops, for example, and that scientists should be able to choose to use these tools to innovate to meet the great challenges that we face today. The Alliance for Science is truly a global network. We have science allies in over half of the world's countries. So this is really something, it's really a grassroots initiative, and people from all over the world have made the choice that they share our mission around promoting access to scientific innovations to improve lives. They want to lend their voice and be part of something bigger in support of science and evidence. My last word is just that you know, here we are in the giant of Africa. There's so much intellectual capacity here. There's so much investment in agriculture. I meet young people who are so engaged and fired up to re-engage in agriculture, and they want to return to the farm and return to agriculture, but they want to do it in a modern way. And so they need that spark. They need that investment from government, that nod to say, we're behind you, we're with you, we want to make agriculture in Nigeria rise and succeed.
And that wraps it up on the program Biotechnology in Focus. Until next time when we come your way, thanks for watching and bye for now.